right, boys, here we go. Big week in the National Hockey League. The real Kyper Bourne show. Jake the Snake Schultz, Derek Brandeo, Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee. Live on Sportsnet 360, 590 The Fan in Toronto, streaming always on Sportsnet Plus. Also available Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. This is our Leaf Hour edition. Toronto Maple Leafs are set to play the Philadelphia Flyers tonight at Scotiabank Arena.
You going?
I am going to go. Yeah.
You look nice.
Oh, thanks.
Don Draper over here.
Well, somebody's got to look good in that building.
Hey, now, here we go. And the show begins.
The Toronto Maple Leafs coming off a very disappointing Saturday night, which leads us into a trade week, which will keep us very busy. Whether or not what comes in, we can always talk about what we can speculate or at least mention what we're hearing. But we'll start Saturday night. Division rival, a game that many thought, okay, all right, couple stinkers in Florida. They're back home. They'll be fine.
Yeah.
Not so fine, JB.
Not so fine. I had a friend in the building that night who said it was perhaps the worst vibe in the arena that he can recall. Having, goes to many games. I was not there. You were there. How accurate was that?
No, I felt it too. And as someone that's been in that building right from the get-go, 1999, right, was the switch from Maple Leaf Gardens to the then Air Canada Center to now the Scotiabank Arena. It was right up there with a real kind of icky feeling.
It feels like to me that the general feeling was not anger, but apathy. Like people just kind of like quiet, sitting on their hand, nothing to cheer for, or was there palpable frustration? And
I think a little bit of both, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And again, when you're coming into March and April around Toronto, especially coming last season off of an Atlantic Division championship during the regular season, there's a build-up, just before or after a trade deadline. Of course, Leaf fans, like any other fan in any other market, always watch the trade deadline carefully because you're thinking, okay, we're one more piece away from winning it all, right?
Yeah.
Everybody does it. But there was none of that, right? So you're just the conversation is who are we getting rid of?
Right.
And it's not necessarily to try to think that we're going to witness something in the next few weeks or the next month or so that excites us. And that really had led to the bad vibe.
The way that game unfolded, they got outshot by incalculable amounts of shots. It was just embarrassing. And I think that was the sentiment post-game. You did Leafs talk, Sammy, on Saturday?
Yeah, I did.
And how was your guys' takeaway?
We did 3 shows in a row that were basically the exact same show coming off the break. But I think, like you said, stinkers in Florida, coming off the break, not at home. Not like I would ever say that those are acceptable. Clearly, they're not acceptable. But I do think that there was a different level of embarrassment on Saturday night, especially after you get the early power play, you snap it around a bit, Morgan Riley shoots into the net. And I think I even texted a couple buddies being like, hey, at least Leafs can still compete with the Sens and they can beat the Sens. And then I think from that text forward, they got outshot 16-1 in the first period, and then away we went. I thought it was I don't know, pathetic, disgraceful, crappy, whatever word you want to say. I mean, how much was a ticket to get in there on Saturday night? They should have refund people. It was brutal.
Austin post-game used the word embarrassing.
We have that clip if you'd like to hear it.
We got a few clips on the game. Let's start with Jake McCabe's clip. We'll start with Jake McCabe. Rarely played on the show, Jake McCabe. Jake McCabe on the game on Saturday.
Yeah, good first 5 minutes, I thought. Obviously get the first goal, which we've been searching for, and then the bed after that.
That's the type of analysis I expect from Jake McCabe. Peaky Blinders, straightforward.
We crapped the bed, but with an S.
Yeah.
That's a nice way to put it. Yeah, you can play the captain there if you want there, Derek. Austin Matthews on the game.
Yeah, I thought we started better. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, just kind of lost it there. Just really disconnected throughout all three zones, and just bad, just fairly embarrassing, to be honest with you. It's just not the way. We need to have more pride in our play, no matter where we're at, no matter what the situation is. We just have to have more pride in our game, and we didn't have that tonight.
Okay, a guy that's as conservative as anybody starts using bad and embarrassing. Might be a good sign.
What do you think about that clip? Like, we've played Austin Matthews.
I liked it out of Austin.
Yeah, but listening to that clip versus listening to other clips he's had, boys, that seems way more genuine than he's ever said.
Yes, that's to my point.
Yeah,
that's the only thing it was a positive for me.
As soon as he transitioned to bad, it's like he dropped the facade. He's like, yeah, it's just bad. It's fairly. It's like the humanness kind of came out at the end. It's funny though. I have like those Sport Logic stats or whatever.
Yeah.
They actually won more puck battles than Ottawa in that game, which I don't say is a good thing.
Yeah,
They never had the puck.
This is if we needed a useful or useless segment, that would sit at the top of the mountain. Useless.
But I'm saying that because that's how bad they are compared to Ottawa. That even when they win more puck battles, they still can't play with it. They don't get to. They give it back.
Can we give Ottawa some credit? Thought they played unbelievable too.
They're a very good team that just has had dog crap goaltending.
See, this is the thing. I was talking with a guy today, and I was like, yeah, it's just too bad. Like, even the Sens are going to miss playoffs. I was sitting here thinking about it. I'm not sure they are. Like, that kind of muddies the water. They're 5 points out of a playoff spot.
Like I said, it just is the guy in net.
Oh God!
Right, going to go on
different goaltending this year.
But there's no margin of error here. For Ullmark. Right? He's going to have to go on a pretty big run.
He's a guy who can. I know he hasn't.
He's had stretches.
Yeah.
And then for whatever reason, he just like, where'd he go?
I know.
What happened? Where'd he go?
He was right here.
And that's the only head scratcher left for the Ottawa Senators the rest of the season is if that guy shows up. If he does, then they're right in the thick of things.
They could sneak in, no problem.
Like, they were right there with the Leafs during the Olympic break, both at 6 points. And now what is Ottawa at 5?
Yeah.
And the Leafs are at 8.
Yeah.
But, like, 3 points isn't that much, but it's a world of difference how you feel about Ottawa and the Leafs today.
Totally. And, like I think I sent you guys that Sport Logic graph. Like the Leafs are bottom left in terms of goals for and against, which is bad. Top right is Ottawa. They're up there with the good teams in terms of their play and possession.
And that thing you sent us before the game from Sportsnet stats, go down the list of defensive things that you want to be for the Toronto Maple Leafs. They are dead last in the league and everything, and the Ottawa Senators are not.
Yeah.
So
just passing this along, that Edmonton trade did happen. Connor Murphy to the Oilers. Second round pick went the other way, and Chicago retained half of Murphy's 4.4.
Okay, well, we'll get into that in the National Hour. More on the Edmonton Oilers trade for Connor Murphy at the top of the hour. We'll also welcome in Jason Bukala.
Oops.
All right. So the fact is that they're getting beat up all over the ice, right? Rush chances, shots on goal, blah, blah. I don't even know. I looked up at the clock. I'm like, I think I saw 16-2 in shots.
Yeah, that's what it was at the end of the first.
Is there some light bulbs burnt out?
Was 12? 16-12 maybe?
Somebody hit the clock.
Yeah.
I think it skipped or something. I'm like, how can this be? Now, the question is right into Craig Berube. Like, how does this happen? Why does it happen? How are they not ready? And he was pretty animated, Sammy, after the game.
Yeah. I mean, we can play his clip, but are you guys surprised he's behind the bench tonight?
Yeah, I think it's good that you brought that up. That's the question people are asking today.
I want to hear his comments, Sammy, and then we'll play him out.
The clip is clip 3, please, Derek, is the one that everyone's talking about. Clip 3.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I when I look at the game and show tape or we go over things, there's a certain way we need to play the game. But, I can't give guys this or this, and that's on. They have to they have to come with that. That's got to be on them. Like they got to bring the heart and the competitiveness that's needed, and it's all the little things. They got to bring that. They got to want to bring that. We can bring the X's and O's, and I can go in there and yell and scream at them all I want. That doesn't do anything either.
Leafs coach calls team dumb losers.
So he pointed at his head and his heart when he said, "I can't give him this, can't give him this."
I'm being dramatic.
Yes.
I don't need the head. I just once you point to the heart,
it's over.
It's over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, you think that's a significant?
Oh yeah. Oh, listen, there's not a lot of places you can go after that.
You walk in the room and you just did that one to the.
When you get accused of being soft, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
You know,
tough to rally for a guy
accused,
when
you're accused of having no heart. That's a big deal.
Yeah,
that's a big deal.
So then I am shocked. Not just shocked. I am surprised that he's the coach today. You know, we saw Jim Hiller just get fired from LA. This is sort of the time where teams, you know, give a guy a new chance, get your feet wet, do some evaluation, whatever, or at least get you through to summer. That game against Ottawa was a real showing. And he was asked, does he think the team has quit on him?
Yeah. Clip 2, please, Derek.
Are you worried this team has quit?
No, I'm not worried about. They didn't quit. They're not. I don't believe that. That's not. I don't worry about that.
As a Biden clip where they ask him how his memory is or whatever.
I don't worry about this at all.
So, what does quit mean to you?
What, the first period?
I know, but tell me what it means to you.
Go ahead, Morty.
To me, it's the extra. Are you willing to, you know, it's desperation. It's that playoff level gear where you're like, okay, you know, like this is embarrassing. We love this team here. We need to do whatever it takes. And it shows in terms of competitiveness and engagement and some of that sort of stuff. It shows up in some way. Yeah. You?
Me, it's just the message, and that's real. You can quit on the message, or the catchphrase all year was disconnect. Mm-hmm. And if you don't
start doing your own thing,
if you start doing your own thing, you're on your own program, and it doesn't remotely look like you're a cohesive group, that's a form of quitting.
So are they?
And I think that's happened. I do believe that whatever message he has between the head and the heart, he's questioning it. He should question it, because that's what it looks like.
I mean, he's right.
When you've lost head and heart.
This guy, he's not.
He's not wrong.
No, and like, I know it's bad here this year. I had heard for years that he was a guy who is not an X's and O's guy, but he is a motivational guy. He rallies the troops. They like him, whatever.
Just go back to his last clip.
Yeah.
When he mentioned, I can go in there and scream and holler. It won't do any good. It's like, I've already played that card.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Right?
My point is, if this guy's thing is that he's a motivational guy and they're not responding to motivation, all right, what are we doing now? What's the point now? You're not trying to make playoffs anymore. It's just, it's not working.
There's a point where it's just like, he seems like a good man. Just let him. Like, let him. Like, does he need to be part of this disaster after the deadline? Like, let him go. I don't know.
Is there any chance that next year it's Tree Living and Berube trying again, another fresh start?
You have seen that. You have a couple of more nights, like Saturday night. Like I said this the other night on with Martine on Sports Central. How many games they got left, Sammy? 22? 21?
I think 22.
It's a quarter of a season. Like you can't have many more looks like that. Forget about playoffs. Forget about points. Forget about where you're ranked. You just can't send that program out there for 22 more games and feel like people want to come and watch you. It's dangerous.
The thing I'm seeing most from people is that what's been so embarrassing about this season is that as it's gone off the rails, they've done nothing. They haven't tried anything different. They haven't made a trade. They fired one assistant coach.
The last transaction, I think, was claiming Stetcher on waivers.
Yeah, and that was good.
Yeah. But, I mean,
That's not enough.
you could try another one.
Sure. You know,
And we're probably going to try a few
And
here
so,
in the
Kip,
next
when you
4
say
days.
it's dangerous, you mean apathy. You mean
Yes.
people just being like,
Yes.
you know what, whatever, I'm checked out for this year. See you
100%.
next year.
And where's the accountability?
Yeah. Where is the accountability? I don't know. And so you're hearing a lot about evaluation. Like next year is Pelly trying to figure out if how it goes to the deadline. I know that the Don Sweeney was in trouble with the Bruins until a good deadline last year. He ended up getting an extension as a result of good deadline work. Could that be in the cards with a great deadline here?
Well, clearly they're not willing to or do not want to go down the path of the LA Kings with Hiller, of course.
Mhm.
A couple of bad games cost him his job.
That's clear to you that they won't do that?
Well, if it doesn't happen on a Sunday or a Monday and you've got a game tonight, he will be behind the bench tonight. And now you're into Tuesday to a Friday deadline. Do you need that?
Yesterday was going
Right?
to be the day.
Yesterday was the day to let him go and make an announcement today if you wanted to. But that window's closed. Clearly, the focus is on the trade deadline week. They didn't want to, upstage that with a coach's firing.
Mm-hmm.
But another effort like that tonight against a team that you should beat, you're better than them, certainly will
I don't know.
really push for change.
I'm not sure. Are they better than the Flyers?
I will say it does feel like a big night tonight in that regard. In that, like, if that happens again, you almost, even if the management and ownership and everything doesn't want to fire the coach, you can't just keep going out
No,
and
you
getting
can't.
humiliated.
And you can't. And you
So-
can't keep telling people that we just need a better start. And all of it just goes in one ear and out the other. And there's too many games, guys. There's still too many games and too many scenarios where Austin has to say that was embarrassing again. And you got to avoid that like the plague.
The lineup they're dressing tonight in the lines that they have it is their playoff game one. This is like the what they want to do. Would start the year. Do you remember Cowan started with Lorenz and Lawton?
Yeah.
Michelli Joshua was day one, a line. Matthews, Nylander together on a line with McMahon that's their first line.
Yeah.
And then Nyes, Tavares, Domi. I guess maybe Nyes with Matthews and Nylander might be your game one, but
He's
this is
coaching for a win.
They are throwing their hardest fastball tonight.
Yeah.
And seeing what Stolar is starting, it sounds like.
Nick Robertson not playing tonight.
Let's go to Craig Berube on his lineup and getting Nick and Stetch out.
Clip
Slip 9.
Robertson is out
Yeah,
tonight. Why is he-
I got to make decisions in the lineup, and I felt Nicky's game has dropped off even before the break a little bit and through the break here, so he's going to get a reset today.
Similar for Stetcher, or
Yep, similar for Stetcher.
What happened to Troy's boys?
Yeah.
It was good. It was good for a while.
I mean, could I be frank? I still think he's better than Myers.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think this is just a spot where he's looking to shake it up and get a win, a desperate guy. But, I mean, he's not worse than Myers.
No.
So, I mean, he's been not great since the break. I understand that, but
Well,
it's kind of a crappy team.
They have handed him a big load for a waiver claim, Like, it's not like they're using him in 14 minutes.
He's already given them way more than
Oh, my
anybody
God.
thought.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm whatever. At this point, I'm not going to lose any sleep over Troy Stetcher getting scratched, but I would say I lose a wink over.
So you're pulling the contract, the 4-year deal you were offering.
Yeah,
him,
I think it's
month
going to be
ago?
down to a 2-year deal probably. But like the Nick Robertson one to me is like, he shouldn't. If you're going to tell me what he should be doing with Nick Robertson, like first line or scratch, first line.
Yeah.
You are a bad hockey team. You are in last place in your division. Play the guys that have a touch of promise. Like I know he's not perfect,
Oh,
but
that's coming. The play the guys with the touch of promise is coming days. You're going to see Quillen alongside Robertson, and
oh man,
it's coming.
I don't know.
Introducing
Does that tell-
Bo Gruel.
Does that
You like
not tell
Bo?
you though? Like if
Grulsy.
there was any team interested in trading for Nick, you'd have him in the lineup.
Yeah. You don't think any team is interested? I think no one is interested in trading him for what you would give him up for. Like, I think they're not going to get a third for him, so why do it?
Oh, my gosh.
Just keep him.
Take a fourth now, then.
Nick, they're no good. He's 23. Keep him. Just keep him.
Just play him. You suck.
You suck.
You suck.
And you can't play him.
No,
you
can.
You can't. That's the whole point.
They're choosing not to.
That's.
Send him off, please.
But here's the thing, though. What
are you holding on to him for?
Why
We've
are you
been doing
playing
this
Max
for a year and a
Domi
half.
over him tonight?
Just play anybody. Just let him in the line. Like I don't. This is what
They don't see any value in him.
But the thing is, I want them to change the they.
Okay, hold on.
Change the they.
They didn't
Kipper.
see any value.
They got us in last place in the
They don't
division.
see any value to trade him, and they don't see any value to play him
They
now.
didn't see any value in Pontus Holmberg, who plays middle 6 minutes with his career-high goals for Tampa Bay. They didn't see any value in Connor Dewar, who has 13 goals for the Pittsburgh Penguins. They didn't see any value in Alex Steves, who just signed a 2-year contract with the Boston Bruins. They might not be awesome at assessing value.
Well, you got me. You got me.
But like, you should be where you're at. This is if you're gonna let Berube go, this is the number one thing. Change the mindset of what you are. Like, they're still acting here like it's, we got to dig out of it. All this, it's like, you're not digging out of crap. You are in last, and you're going to be staying in last. So act like a last place team and play your guys with promise. Like, why is Robertson sitting? Like, stupid as he'll
Didn't
ever
you just say
die
you
on.
weren't going to get worked up over that?
Not over Stetcher, but over Robertson. It's like,
I mean, it's not like he's been any good. It's
All
just
right.
the last couple games.
Was that just a warm-up to get your thoughts on Bobby McMahon?
Sure.
On the potential of him
Play the clip.
signing or being traded, Sammy?
Play clip.
Yeah, I mean, that's hard to put into words. I'm not really necessarily trying to speculate on officially leaving either. Like, I think I want to just battle here, and it's been fun my whole career, working my way into the NHL here and given the opportunity. I want to make the most of it and continue to put my best effort forward, no matter the situation.
He doesn't want to leave.
That's that whole. We've never played a Bobby McMahon clip before, right? Ever. I was like, whose voice is this?
McCabe and Bobby McMahon.
Good work today.
Okay, so where are you guys on signing him to a team-friendly deal?
Team friendly.
Sure.
Talk to me, Goose.
$850 times 4, done.
Oh, no. I'll tell you what they're trying to do is get something with a 3 in it.
If you can get him with something starts with a 3, I'm sold. 3.9, 4 years. I'll do it.
For Bobby to go in the 3s, you'd have to offer him 6 or 7 years. No, I'm telling you. I mean, that's right.
Okay, well, I'm out. For these reasons.
What show is that?
Dragon's
Shark
Den.
Tank,
Yeah,
Dragon's
Dragon's
Den,
Den.
whatever what it is.
Okay, let's bring out Bobby McMahon on Dragon's Den.
I'm out.
Offering you 10% of Bobby McMahon.
I've made a huge mistake.
That if he feels like this is his one last ditch effort to sign something around $20 or $25 million, you can go somewhere else and get it for 4 or 5 years, or you can spread it out here over 6.
It just feels like that's not going to be super fun to deal with. The cap does go down. It's just you get in trouble when you give middle 6-y guys more than $1-2 million. It starts looking like, well, we got to get Kampf out of here. We got to get Yarncroc out of here. We got to get Domi out of here. These are the guys that end up being like, boy, we could move that hit. Sure wish we didn't have that. Pay the really good guys a lot. Keep the really good guys. Fill in around.
That's, if you're going to give Kyle Dubas credit for anything here, he never overspent on some of the middle stuff. And hey, listen, maybe that's why they never got past certain spots. You have to kind of thread the needle. But, I mean, they've overpaid for their whole bottom half of the lineup. I mean, like, when are we going to talk about the Dakota Joshua thing of all this? Like, he doesn't make $850, boys. He makes what does he make? 3.5?
You know,
Michelli, like think about this money they're spending on these guys that are giving them nothing.
Typically, it's like, can you just take it off our hands? And if you throw us a 5 or 6 round pick, all the better. But like those contracts now, you're trying to unload. A lot of teams out there just trying to unload.
those are the deals. Like Bobby McMahon has the potential to be your next Joshua deal. You know, it's. I think he's a good player. That is not meant. I even think good Joshua is good, but these guys in the middle, it's scary, and you need to be careful with that money, or you end up spending money, as you said, to get rid of them sometimes. What could he fetch you? You think a second for Bobby now? That's what we're talking about? Like,
it was never a first, in my opinion, unless someone really.
It's not helping that he's
overspent.
ice cold right now.
Yeah, 3 straight games of not noticing him doesn't help.
The general feeling around the league is, you can sometimes look like a second-line guy on a bad hockey club, but can you? If I'm contending right now, Bobby McMahon's a 6 to 9.
Yeah. Hey, he's playing with Matthews and Nylander tonight. They're like, get him some points. We need some points. Let's play in the O zone with Bobby.
As we went into this week, some suggesting that OEL was tied into the Edmonton Oilers. We know that they made a move for Connor Murphy moments ago.
Elliot reported that.
Where are you on OEL?
I'm interested to see what happens with these D, because I think that OEL wants to stay. It sounds like there's some clips out, some things he said. Sounds like he wants to be here. Brandon Carlo, I think is no good to trade, in my opinion. I think there's more value there than his performance this year.
Yeah.
I think
I don't hear his name.
Yeah.
I could be way off on this.
I think you'd be trading him at a low. He's been pretty good the last 10 games. Like, he's starting. There's more there than you would get for him right now. I don't like that. OEL, however, I think you should trade him.
And even if it's for a second and a prospect?
Yeah. He's 35 years old.
Yeah.
Like, at some point here, I would worry that he's never going to look as good as he's looked over the last little while. And
he's had a career year.
And you would argue that, I know I've seen some nerd numbers that don't particularly love his season.
It's the time.
Right now is the exact time to do it.
Yeah, you got to do it.
And then you start next year, he gets hurt in the first month, and he doesn't play, and you're like, God, we probably should have taken the second and the prospect for him at that point.
No, you're right. You're right. So then the offseason, you got to find a way to get some guys who can do what he does.
That's the dilemma with OEL is the replacement cost.
Yeah.
Who could we bring in who can play 21 minutes a night?
But it's like, how did you get OEL?
Yes.
Free agent signing.
Sign him.
Like, you got to find the next guy. That's the job, is find the next guy who can give you good minutes at a decent price. You don't have to get guys value at UFA because you're not spending an asset. You just have to pick the right guys who can still contribute. Is Darren Radish going to be good enough?
You gotta have an eye.
Yeah. And again, these are tough questions.
Wow.
Do you have someone who's assessing value well in that spot? You heard me on it 5 minutes ago, how I feel about it. So.
Yeah, I think I would say that the fan base and you want to talk about a disconnect. The fan base trust level is not high.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not.
You're talking for Brad Treliving and
just heading into this
Ruby
heading into this week in general, boys. Like I don't get a ton of texts of people being like, "Bet Brad's gonna nail this." It's people are saying, "Better not screw this up," because even if, for example, if there's a world where potentially after this year he isn't here anymore, this deadline has a chance to at least, like, if you care at all about your legacy and like what you are as a general manager, if you somewhat restock the cupboards and you happen to get a first and a couple picks,
you can
maybe
be Kevin Adams on your way out.
You can just be like, hey, it wasn't all bad.
Yeah.
Because right now it's tracking towards putting the stake in like the biggest failure of a organization. Like, like this point of where we're at right now.
Yeah.
It's a toxic spot. So
Scotty Lawton seems like the most sure thing
to be traded.
To be traded.
Yeah.
Are you with me on that?
Yeah, I am. It stinks.
Why are they not all sure things?
Well, it stinks that the guys that are likely to get traded, OEL, Lawton, when they're losing, when they're in a quiet game, there's like two of the guys who might stand up for their goalie or get in someone's face or care still. Like, it sucks that the guys who are UFAs are also the guys who have shown heart.
Yeah, totally agree.
If they're trying to sign Bobby McMahon to a contract in the high 3s or even the low 4s, like, what do you think they'd offer Scott Laughton if they chose not to trade him?
Do you think he's more or less valuable than Bobby McMahon? To me, he's a little older, less offensively. They don't use him much, so he should be less valuable, right?
I think if you just base it on how you played him, where you played him, how many minutes on some nights you gave him, absolutely less value.
You know, he's a center. He's physical. He's an intangible leadership type guy.
Yeah, he spent a good portion on the fourth line.
Yeah. You know, and I'm just saying that maybe you get to pay him by the way you've used him, but you know that there's other value with a guy like him. You know, I also think this. I think that he probably doesn't like how he's been treated or used since he was acquired.
Yeah.
And if you changed, would that change his opinion on wanting to stay?
Yep.
Yeah, I think they'd have a tough time getting a second rounder for him.
Yeah. Well, then no, thank you. Like, I'd rather keep Laughton if you could keep him for a few years. It is interesting. I don't, if they're trying to win next year, you can't have nobody. And I don't mind having a couple guys like that if he's at a decent price. But like, he had Berube in Philly when things just didn't quite work out and he didn't have a ton of success. And I just don't think, for whatever reason, he's had great runs with Craig Berube. So,
Want to go? Do you want to keep going or do you want to go to break? Anything more?
Where do you want to? Anywhere you want to?
We have Laughton on the deadline.
Yeah, sure. Let's play it.
Might as well play this since we're talking about it.
Okay.
Scott Laughton on the deadline.
Scott Laughton.
Yeah, honestly, I've talked about it quite a bit. I think, obviously, I've loved it here and I've loved my time, and that's all I really can control. I don't get in the conversations too much, so I'm a Leaf, and that's where I want to be, and we'll see where it goes. But I'm focused on getting 2 points against my former team and trying to kind of get this thing rolling in the right direction.
I think Elliot mentioned maybe a link with him in Colorado.
It's a great pickup for Colorado.
It sounds like Colorado wants way more upside than Scott Laughton's game, and not to disrespect him, but it really sounds like they're focusing in on Kadri or somebody that can come in and believe it or not, help the worst power play in the league.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're going to go down that direction with Scott.
Do you want me to fix their power play right now on Colorado?
Shoot.
Take Mac off the flank. Take McKinnon off the flank.
Okay.
Okay, fixed it.
Where are you having him in front of the net? Getting cross-checked?
Sure, bumper. Let him shoot it from the bumper.
It's just funny. All I ever hear is that everybody hates it in Toronto. Everybody's like, oh, who would ever go to Toronto? Oh, Toronto. And then every time they ask them about it, it's like, I don't want to go. I love Toronto. I love it here. I want to be a Leaf. It's like, I guess it's just everybody hates it.
Carlos had multiple things.
All Bregman Larson said today.
They're
I
like,
love it.
14th out of 16. He's like, I don't want to go. I would like to be here, be a Leaf. So that's encouraging.
Listen, go back to Mitch Marner's comments. You do get treated like a king.
Yeah.
Right? You're rock stars.
Well, no, I don't think it's as fun when you're getting kicked around by everyone publicly.
Yeah, it's a couple.
Mitch also felt that.
Great chefs.
I can confirm that. It's fantastic, that part.
All right, let's go.
Okay, let's take a quick break. Plenty more as the Toronto Maple Leafs set to do battle with the Philadelphia Flyers. We got Charlie O'Connor, covers the Philadelphia Flyers. He's one of their beat writers. Will join us next when we return to Real Kyper and Bourne. Welcome back to the program. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee, Toronto Maple Leafs, Philadelphia Flyers tonight. We welcome in Charlie O'Connor. Covers the Philadelphia Flyers. Does a great job. Thanks for doing this, Charlie. How are you?
I'm doing okay. How you guys doing?
Okay, so are Flyer fans as crazy as Leaf fans up here, like our boy Sammy here around the trade deadline? They want everybody gone. They want everybody traded there.
I mean, there's that would like that, but I hesitate to call any fan base, except maybe Eagles fans here in Philadelphia, as crazy as Toronto Maple Leafs fans. It's a high bar to clear.
Do they think there's a playoff chance for the Flyers? 6 points back right now?
I would say that the consensus from fans is no. I can tell you that the players in that room still think that they can pull it off. They still think that they're capable, but I would say the market overall, not so much confidence, and I don't get the sense that General Manager Danny Briere is operating under the assumption that they're going to make it. But the players certainly think that they can do it, and they've won their last 2 games. So there's still belief in that room. I would say everyone else is pretty skeptical.
So that means they're going to be coming with it tonight, I would assume. Tell us about where they're at. Seems to me like this team has performed maybe roughly to about what its talent level is this season.
I think that's fair. I think everything just sort of got thrown in terms of everyone's expectations when they got off to a good start. You know, through the first couple games of January, this was a team that wasn't, merely battling for a playoff spot. They were sitting second in the Metro Division, and this team hasn't been to the playoffs since 2020. They haven't played a home playoff game since 2018 because the 2020 playoffs were in a bubble. So people got excited. They got excited. They started thinking, maybe they can get this going quicker than expected. And then January was essentially an unmitigated disaster. They had some injuries, but they really just kind of got caught in a spiral and couldn't pull themselves out of it. Now, the last 2 games, really the last 3, because they lost the first game back from the break, but it was a close game. They gave up the game-winning goal late in the third period. They've looked better. Now, can they hold that? I guess we'll see. But they more or less now look like they're back to the team that they were before the January swoon. And I guess that's good for their competitiveness the rest of the year. That said, they're now very far behind in terms of the Eastern Conference standing, the Metropolitan Division standing. So even if they're back to what they were before in terms of true talent level, and I think there's a good chance they are, they're going to have to pick up a lot of points if they want any chance to make the playoffs, and it's going to be real tough.
You're listening to Charlie O'Connor. Does a great job covering the Philadelphia Flyers as we get set for a 7:30 puck drop between the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Philadelphia Flyers. So if my memory serves correct, the switch from Chuck Fletcher to the era of Daniel Briere, Keith Jones, May of 2023, if I'm not mistaken. And it's been a while now. So where is the fan base? Tremendous upside, new fresh minds coming in, going to lead this direction. Where are they in terms of their patience right now with this management group, the fans?
I would say that especially online, it's really running thin. I think the fan base overall is a little bit more willing to cut Briere and Jones some slack. But I think fans are frustrated. And I think, again, the fact that they got off to this solid start, it got people a bit excited. And then this past month, or really 2 months because they didn't play in February, so mostly January, kind of crashed everybody back to earth. And the thing is that there are, even though they have stockpiled some talent, they have a bunch of good young players, the big concern, and it's a reasonable concern on the part of Flyers fans, is, you've got young talent. You've got Matvei Mishkov, you've got Porter Martone coming, you have a very deep prospect pool. They don't really have anybody in their system, either on the NHL team or in the prospect pool, who checks the box of, potential future first-line center, potential future number 1 defenseman. So they have young talent. They have built, from within, but the centers they have in the system don't look like they project to be elite level of centers. And the defensemen, it's the same thing. They have some good guys, and Cam York and Jamie Drysdale. They have Oliver Bonk coming, who was a first round pick in 2023. But none of these guys scream, 25-minute a night stud. So fans are a bit concerned that, the fact that their best young players are wingers and that's not a premium position, how are you going to get those guys? So they're going to have to be active in the trade market. They might have to look at offer sheets. They're going to have to get creative because it doesn't look like this team, unless they get lottery luck the way that the Islanders did, is going to be bad enough to get a top 3 pick anytime soon, which is where you usually get those guys in the draft.
Charlie, before we let you go, just a comment on Owen Tippett. Is that a winger that could change the face with a major trade? He has zero protection, I think, for a trade this week, but he gets some next year. But is that what the fans want? Maybe something like that?
Well, I think fans look at it and they do see a winger logjam. There are a lot of wingers on this team. There are a lot of good wingers on this team, but ultimately you're not going to have enough spaces for all of them, especially if Trevor Zegras ends up being a winger long term rather than eventually moving back to center full term, over the long term. So is Tippett a guy who fans would be open to the Flyers moving? Absolutely. I think, there's a point of it depends on what you get back for him. Like, I don't think anybody wants them just to trade Owen Tippett for a draft pick and be done with it. But if they could use Tippett to get a guy who plays a premium position, in a package like that where you're addressing defense or you're addressing center, I think people would be very open to it. I don't think people would be thrilled unless this came in the process of like, we're just going to trade everyone and tank. I think there are a lot of fans who'd be very excited about that. But if the only move, at the deadline in this offseason is like trading Owen Tippett for a first round pick and, a B level prospect, I don't think anybody's going to be super excited about it. If Owen Tippett gets traded in a package for a top 6 center, then I think people would be very excited about it.
Could Robert Thomas or one of those bigger names be something that changes the fans' opinion of the management here?
I absolutely think it would. I think, Robert Thomas is, maybe not a superstar level first-line center, but he absolutely is a first-line center. I haven't really heard much on the Flyers being in the mix for Robert Thomas, even though to me he would make a lot of sense. Mm-hmm. And maybe Danny Briere is working in the shadows. He's doing this and he's keeping his interest under wraps. But I mean, to me, Robert Thomas would make a lot of sense, for the Flyers, especially if they want to, kick this thing into high gear over the next couple of years. I just really haven't heard anything and keeping my ears to the ground, but I guess we'll see.
Charlie, really appreciate your time. Enjoy the game tonight. Thanks for doing this.
All right. You got it. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Charlie.
Charlie O'Connor on the Philadelphia Flyers.
It is so hard to get a number 1 center, a number 1 D, and a goalie. Those are like the 3 things, which is why it's incredible, that the Vancouver Canucks had those things and then just absolutely fumbled.
You got to, goalies just hardly ever go, right? At the trade deadline. It's always deemed a little too late. I mean, who knows whether or not we'll see Binnington go anywhere. Bobrovsky seems to be out there now, but they're
not trading him.
We'll talk about that in the national hour.
There's too much loyalty involved. He's been too big for them in big spots.
Hey, I had a question for you guys. Something that kind of came across my desk this morning. Did Mac say on Friday, make a comment about Doug Armstrong to the Leafs?
Yeah.
That
sure
went right over my head. Barely noticed it. It's been reported. People are he got aggregated.
That thing's been out there for months.
You've mentioned it. Way too early. You mentioned it 2 years ago, I think. But
it's first of all, it's always a standard when the Leafs are in trouble, or if there's ever a scenario like this, then there's a new flavor out there that's better.
Well, yeah,
and they'll always mention it. Brian Burke went through it. Everybody goes through it. Mm-hmm. Just that's the Toronto way. Just start talking about Doug Armstrong now coming.
Well, it's always, they're the Toronto Maple Leafs. There's no salary cap off the ice, so the Leafs try to wield that power. They went and spent $50 million on Mike Babcock. That's the big name. They went and got Brendan Shanahan. We talked about Barry Trotz when he was available as a coach back in the day.
There is an appeal, though. It takes 2 to tangle sometimes, but there's a lot of people that want this job. It's always attractive.
The one who gets it right.
Is Doug one of those guys?
Why don't you? Well, listen, we've had him on the show before. Book him and we'll ask him.
All right, I'll try. Yeah, I'm sure I'll text Blues.
You'll ask him. I'm not going to ask
Blues
him.
PR and be like, hey, you want to come on the show?
Our Doug might be one of the few guys who'd give you an honest answer.
He might. Yeah, he probably would. He's been fantastic.
Yeah, I'm looking at that.
He's been fantastic.
I'm not going to tell you what's happening. I'll just tell you what I'm hearing.
But Robert Thomas, that's obviously a big name. Name that always is connected whenever Leaf fans talk about it is Nyes about a trade.
It's not enough, but
well, no,
Robert Thomas.
it's not there's no package out there. There's nothing, Sam.
Okay.
Please tell me. You know the general kind of scope of the Leafs. Tell me right now what the Leafs could do to get Robert Thomas.
Just said Nyes in your 2028.
But
Nyes.
I don't want to. I don't really necessarily want to have a conversation about putting together a package, but I think it's more of a conversation of like the willingness to deal with Nyes. Like I think at the start of this year, all of us would have agreed that he is a complete untouchable. But I mean, it hasn't been a perfect year for him, I wouldn't say. So I'm surprised that Leaf fans are like,
It's really disappointing. His season is really disappointing.
Definitely injury related for a lot of it in there.
Sure.
You know, and that's something, but I certainly was hoping for more of a step. I would like to see him get lean next year and get that foot speed up. You know, it's important.
You guys know how I felt about
Love him.
Matthew Nyes, that there is still an element that he just doesn't bring it every night. He could be the biggest, toughest guy out there. Mm-hmm. He just doesn't bring it every night.
Yeah.
And it's, well, we've had these conversations. Can he be a point-a-game guy? Can he be an 80-point guy?
He definitely can because he's at a point per game this year. He can do it for sure.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's 50-some points.
I don't know if he'll ever. I don't know if he'll ever be able to do that over 82 games.
Let me just see here. What are we talking about? He currently has 48 points in 57 games.
So people, I mean, I'm just chumming to that.
20.
How many goals is he? What's he on pace for goals?
He's on pace for, I don't know, 22, 3.
No good.
He had 29 last year.
And we thought 30 was a given.
Well, yeah.
I don't want to throw chum to the Sharks here, but I'm about to.
Yep.
We always talk about Matthews missing Marner the most. I think Nyes is a guy that, you know, gets to the right areas, can get to the front of the net. Like, he's a guy that, you know.
Keep going.
Wow. Listen.
Morgan.
Wow.
The goalies. Keep going.
Yeah, I mean, does he play net? I'm just saying, the guys that played on his line.
He was the closest thing to playing net that they've had in 10 years.
Who, Marner?
Marner. Okay. The best defensive forward by a country mile.
Sure.
Which helps everybody.
So, do you think they'd still be in a playoff spot if he was on the team?
Yes.
Yeah, I think probably, right? They're only
really?
Well, they're 6 points out or so.
Sounds like Marner's defense lawyer.
He was the 6 points they were missing at the Olympic break.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I think that's fair.
A 3-win player? Yeah. That's fair.
And I'll go a step further.
Yeah.
Right? That's just the way it is now in this game. You take Marner out, Leafs miss the playoffs. You take Barkov out of Florida, they miss the playoffs. That's the one guy. They're the two best guys I mentioned, 200-foot games, who could produce and help keep the puck out. Both teams lost them. Both teams missing the playoffs.
What's going on with Vegas?
Yeah, him sticking around would have been really nice.
What's going on with Vegas?
Yeah, they're stinky too.
Yeah. Not a bad team.
I do want to say that, like, I know Easton Cowan's not Mitch Marner, but the rest of the way, it would be fun to see him play in that spot, play with Matthews, and see if there's something there between those two. I think Jonas Siegel had some of the line numbers, success the guys have had together. They've been good when he's played there.
Early for Easton to be doing this sort of stuff.
No, but it's not. No, it's 20 games left in the season. This is give them this run leading into summer, see if they can establish some chemistry.
September call-ups, like in baseball. Just let them play.
Even next year. I don't want him to be on the number one line. It's just too early.
Think so?
Yes. Yeah. You just let him get stronger. Let him get more
So what
mature.
do you want to see happen here then?
Listen, they're not going to blow it up. They're not going to make major changes. They don't want to run the risk of missing the playoffs for 5 years in a row. and they're gonna protect themselves this week. That's what I see.
Sick. Just what the fans want to hear.
I don't even know what that means. I don't.
That's not exactly what you want to hear,
Well,
Sammy.
listen, they've been protecting themselves for the last year. And it's gone
I
great.
don't even know what that means.
Can't play not to lose.
No, they do.
Sure do.
Hey, it'll all unfold right in front of our eyes in the next few days. We'll
chemistry,
follow it
great
right
skill.
here on the Real Kyper Bourne Show.
Yeah, I can't wait.
We go national next. We got a trade. Welcome to the National Hour of the Real Kyper and Bourne Show. Live on Sportsnet, Sportsnet 650 in Vancouver, Sportsnet 960 in Calgary, streaming on Sportsnet Plus, also available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and of course YouTube, where we love the chats. Ripping on me, Sammy. Everybody loves JB, though.
I don't think that's true. Actually, I can confirm it.
We'll give a thumbs up. All right. Connor Murphy, now an Edmonton Oiler.
Brett Kulak just dropped.
This hour of Real Kyper and Bourne brought to you by Bet365. That way Derek's not mad at me.
Yep. Good.
A second-round pick for Connor Murphy. The Chicago Blackhawks retain half of the $4.4 million. Nice. And the Oilers are off and running.
It doesn't hurt the Oilers. It helps them. They are shockingly bad defensively for a team that knows how to defend, you would think, and has some good players. So this guy is a reliable, steady defender. Big, you don't think he's good? Big? What don't you think he is? Oh, jeez.
Not my first choice for the Oilers.
I will say it's uninspired. It's like, we need to be better defensively. Get the defensive guy. It's
I get that,
paste.
but I've heard Connor Murphy's name out there for about a year and a half, and to me, I'm shocked at a second rounder.
Really? For
Connor Murphy. That is, I thought they could have got him for a fourth. But
I guess you're paying for attention.
Yeah, they got to jump out. They got to make sure they don't get caught. But the one thing that I will say about Connor Murphy is that he's coming from the Chicago Blackhawks, where he was pretty much in a top 4 position.
Yep.
And he's averaging 16 minutes. That's really light for a top 4 guy on a team that is one of the worst teams in the league.
So you're saying a bad team wasn't using him very much?
No. And it's how do you, he has in the past played 20 minutes, I think 21 minutes on some years. This year, all season long. And Chicago wants to make a jump. They want to show that they can compete. You want to play well for your young kids. And they're only playing him 16 minutes while Justin Falk's out there playing 21 and a half. Dougie Hamilton, 21 and a half. I'm like, why is this guy playing 7 minutes less than all the rest of the guys that are available?
I don't hate the cost or the fit necessarily. What I do think is it reminds me of the Jari trade, where it's kind of uninspired, where it's I'm not sure that we got a whole lot better. We needed to do a thing, and we did a thing. I'm not sure that thing was, as to your point, you're trying to take a significant step forward as a team. You're not a breath away.
Yeah.
Oilers have been really not great for a stretch here.
Yeah.
They defensively, they're not good. So
history with Bowman, right? He probably would have traded for him in Chicago.
Bowman has loved him now for a couple of years trying to get him, but for whatever reason, never pulled the trigger.
Yeah.
I think he could have had him a year ago for a second rounder. That Chicago was trying to shine up Connor Murphy the last year and a half to trade him.
You're right. He's playing 4 minutes less per game.
That's a big deal.
Before. Yeah.
That's big.
Yeah.
4 minutes less this year than last year.
Yeah, on the same squad.
Why? Somebody asked Chicago, why are you playing him 4 minutes less than you did the year before?
It's not because he's awesome. It's not like went into this year trying to tank. They were trying to hang around. Now they're trying to tank, I would assume. But maybe on a good team, though, maybe there's more there for him. Maybe if he's a guy who gets it up to better forwards, who can play in the other end, maybe things start to look better. He is a veteran guy. He's a big body. He's a lot of the things that they were said to be after. But you're right. There were names out there and needle movers. And I even think Ekman Larsson would have been a much better fit for them. Maybe the Leafs just didn't want to do it and wouldn't do it for that.
I had heard the price for Oliver Ekman Larsson is much higher.
But this is the thing. That's the problem you got to solve if you're the Oilers. You need the guy who's good. You don't need the team version.
But you don't have the assets. Yeah. You don't.
Okay,
as we teed up in our first hour, Jason Bukala now joins us, Pro Hockey Group, Sportsnet, Puckpedia, and former NHL scout. Ooh, good week to lean on those scouting skills of yours. Books, how are you?
I'm doing great, guys. How you
Okay.
making out?
Not wasting any time here. Break down Connor Murphy for us, the price. The one thing that stood out for me right away when I just did a quick look-see was this guy's averaging 16 minutes a night when in previous years he was up around 20, 21, like the rest of those studs available.
So my first reaction right away is this better than what Brett Kulak was when Brett Kulak played for the Edmonton Oilers? That's my very first reaction out of the box. And it's curious to connect the dots. I start in the fall when I'm going through all this, and then we get to today and you see this trade. And obviously things didn't materialize so far the way they wanted with Tristan Jarry, but I'm not surprised at that. I don't think you guys would be surprised at that either. And now the cost of goods is what it is. And I don't mind Connor Murphy. He's a 5. He's a right shot 5. He's got some leadership. He's got a little bit of pushback to his game. He's not going to create much offensively. He'll get in some lanes to block some shots, as my earpiece keeps falling out here, my big head. But anyways, it's just okay. What do you want me to? I'm not over the moon about this. It's just okay. It reeks to me of a trade going back to where you're comfortable and you're familiar with a product or a player that you're going to bring in. And you've Stan Bowman's obviously had him in the past. Connor Murphy's he's a pro. He's an NHL player. Doesn't move the needle a lot for me. Doesn't solve the big picture things that the Oilers need to solve going forward, which is stopping more pucks. And again, when I start piling it on from the Kulak deal, when that whole Pittsburgh deal to get to where we are today, and you start to add up all of that, guys, I'm not so sure that they're any better today than they were in October.
Yeah, gonna be fascinating to watch the Oilers do what they do. Books, I imagine this is a funny time of year for scouts because the team is talking about trading prospects that you have probably brought onto the team, and then they're asking you a lot about other teams' prospects. How does a scout's involvement play out during deadline week?
First things first, when you start drafting assets into your organization, never fall too in love with your own. That's a dangerous proposition. So when you're drafting assets, I had this conversation with one of our colleagues on the weekend. Everybody thinks through the amateur draft that, you want to build your roster through the amateur draft, and it is part of it. Don't get me wrong, when you're rebuilding, certainly that's part of it. But in the big picture, what you really want to do is accumulate as many positive assets as possible. What does that mean? Well, it means sometimes that it might not be a fit for you, but it's going to be a fit for somebody in the league. And when it becomes a fit for somebody in the league, now you've got asset value, you got asset management, and you can prop up your NHL roster in due process. So on the one side of it, Bourne, it's that, I really get excited. Our amateur guys would always get super excited about the draft. It's our Super Bowl when we arrive there at the end of the year. But then when you hand them off to player development, it's fingers crossed. Let's see how the asset management goes. You start all over again. On the pro side of things, you've gone through everybody's depth charts throughout the league, and you're starting to mirror up what the draft is starting to look like this year, next year, and the way that deals are being signed and draft picks are getting tossed around. Believe it or not, even first year, call it Ontario Hockey League guys, people are starting to get intel on them because when you deliver it up the food chain to the pro scouting department and you start looking at your depth charts and where your contracts are going to be expiring and where are we really in our cycle with our team, a whole bunch of different things in there. It all goes into this big melting pot, and hopefully you have enough decisions or enough options for your general manager to make wise decisions.
You're watching and listening to Jason Bukala, Pro Hockey Group, Sportsnet, former NHL scout. So when you guys are around a table, Books, at this time of year, at the trade deadline day, is it strictly your information on the attributes of the players? Will you also give them an assessment of, I think this guy's worth a first and a third, a second and a fourth? Do they want to hear that? Or do they say, no, that's my business here as a general manager. I'll decide what the worth is?
A little bit of both, to be honest with you, Kyper. And here's where it's a little bit dicey because every draft class isn't the same. Everybody wants to look at a first rounder. The Celebrini draft class and the Bedard draft class, that's different than the Lafreniere one back in the day, right? So you're going to get situations where the conversation is going to be, here's how the buildup goes. first things first, when I'm talking about asset management in relation to our organization, when you're proposing, if I go to Dale Talon back in the day and I've got my top 10 prospect list, or I've got my top 10 previously drafted and developing players outside of our organization, and I present that to them. First thing you want to do is make sure that it ticks off the boxes, of the quality boxes. That's how I define them. So what are the quality boxes? How do you want to build a team? Well, for me personally, you better be, have relentless compete, obviously be able to play the game super fast, and you better have a brain, because if you don't have those three things right there, nothing else matters. Look at the Toronto Maple Leafs right now. They got some skill and different things, but they don't have enough will, and they don't have enough, the coach said it the other night, right? Head and heart. So I propose it to my general manager, these types of players. Then he comes to me and says, okay, what's this draft class look like? Should I maybe be looking at, a 2027 second or 2 seconds? Would you give up 2 seconds in 2027, Books, for this, or would you give up a first in 2026? And through my staff's work, our due diligence with the future drafts, we start to, ping pong that back to them with as much information as we possibly have at our disposal at that time. So it's a massive type of undertaking. Ultimately, it's the general manager and his AGM, and certainly analytics will get involved, those types of things, and upper management. Ownership, pardon me. And what's the pressure? What's the downward trajectory from ownership in terms of applying pressure? Because they don't have the information that I'm providing to the general manager. There's a lot to unpack there, but stick with your staples and then strategize from there.
So it's not often that, number one centers become available, top D, these sort of big names. Robert Thomas, though, is a name that's being floated, and he is a big get for somebody, as someone who's on the market. Tell us your assessment of where he's at, how he can help a team, and, the calculus that goes into, is it worth it to part with 4 assets they're apparently asking for this guy?
Yeah. So Robert Thomas, I go way back with Robert Thomas. He played here in London for the London Knights, got traded to the Hamilton Bulldogs at the time at back-to-back Memorial Cups, or pardon me, he went to the Memorial Cup with Hamilton. I believe he's Nick Suzuki-like, to be honest with you. I'm not so sure that he's a pure dynamic one, but I think that he's a +2, if that makes sense. Suzuki's a hell of a player, but you know what I mean, guys? He's not McDavid. He's not Celebrini. He's not like that. So he's not Eichel. I'm curious as to why he's being made available. That is really concerning to me, other than St. Louis feels like they just have to take some risk. Is he going to make the next team much better? Absolutely. Could he pop off? For sure. Could he be an 84? The schedule goes to 84 games. If he gets between 80 and 85, I think he's a plus player. I think he can be used in all situations. His durability has been tested a little bit recently, but he ticks off my boxes. He's a mature player. He's a pro, plays fast. He thinks it really well. And he's got a Ryan O'Reilly type of approach between the ears to his game. So you're going to get a real good pro that way in the room. He's going to come hard. He's going to come to play every day.
So if he's a Nick Suzuki light, does it make much sense for the Montreal Canadiens to go there?
Yeah, absolutely it does. They're in that two things here, Kyper. This is where we start to introduce term, contract, and then projectable value, right? So with his deal that he's on right now, it fits their mold, if you will, their salary structure. It doesn't blow anybody out of the water in terms of the other guys who are getting paid on that roster, and it still allows them at his age to grow as a group. It gives you a two-headed monster at the top, not super, super dynamic like some of these other teams. There's a drop-off from 1 to 2. Unless, you're the oil and you go McDavid, Draisaitl, which is an anomaly. So, yeah, it makes them, it complements them going forward. I think it makes them a much better team still going forward. And they have got a boatload of assets, both prospects, draft capital, and, of course, money to spend.
I got my trade board out on sportsnet.ca, and it's built around what you talked about, teams with the assets to pull this off. Utah is another one. I assume if Doug Armstrong wants to send him that way, it's going to start with one of their top prospects coming back, including Jerome McGinley's son.
Yeah, so Tej playing out in Kelowna this year. They're hosting the Memorial Cup. I can see that absolutely happening. Tej, again, he's on the come see. He's going to be a great pro too. He rips the pill a ton. extends plays in the hard areas. He's not like his dad. His dad played in a different era, but he's powerful like that. He's definitely going to be a top 6 shooter, goal scorer. No question about that. I think you're bang on with the Utah thing, Kyper. I think that they are poised and like they can pounce, can't they? Anybody wants to take a minute to go to, Puckpedia or wherever they want to go, take a look at the embarrassment of riches they have for prospects. They've got too many prospects. They can't even sign them all. They're going to run out of contracts. Then they got all this draft capital, and then they got all this cash. Like what a huge opportunity Bill Armstrong has in front of him there, and the owner clearly wants to spend some money and ride a wave of emotion towards being a playoff team. So I'm keeping a close eye on them. I think that's a good call by you for sure.
As you know, on this show, we spend a lot of time talking about the Toronto Maple Leafs in our first hour. We just kind of kicked it around where they're at. Can Brad Treliving dig the Leafs out of whatever hole this is?
This week?
No. Can they get it turned around and him keep his job and Berube stick around and have things? They're talking about a retool for next year, Books. Is that viable that they can be decent next year?
A
playoff team next year?
No, I don't think they're a playoff team next year. So here's my problem, guys. The DNA is fractured. If I'm going to stay consistent with what I'm preaching here, I don't trust in the DNA of the group right now. I don't think on their hardest days that this group, the team that we're seeing today, compared to teams in the past where they teased us a little bit, because I was buying the stock last year. I liked the way they played. I thought they were way more buttoned up defensively, the goaltending, et cetera, et cetera. Now, as the 3-4 of us know, with Sammy over there dying on the vine right now, as I have this conversation, I know. But here's the thing. The 4 of us would agree. The DNA is fractured, right? There's not enough pushback on your hardest day. What does that mean? There's no rebounding from that for me. You have to dig deep, take a look at exactly how your entire organization is programmed for the next 2 to 3 years. It's not going to be good. In my estimation, it's not going to be good. And if you want to put some more bubble gum on a sinking ship here, go for it. It's not wise. They have no draft capital. They have no prospects. I love Ben Danford as a junior player. He's a 5. He's a right shot 5. Like if we're talking about Connor Murphy today, Ben Danford's going to be something like that in the National Hockey League as too. It's a reset is absolutely in order here. And a conversation for another day. But I came out of that game Saturday night. I was so tempted to start blowing you guys up. I reluctantly took a break, but I think they should cut deep. I'm right now, if I was in a meeting with my bosses, I would be absolutely proposing to them. It's time to start looking at cutting deep, because if you're worried about cashing checks or the stadium being filled, and being a mediocre team, that's fine. You might get into the playoffs. You only when you make big money going 2-3 rounds deep with the right group. This has been 9 or 10 years. There's nothing left in the cupboards. It's time to turn the corner, and some very difficult decisions have to be made.
Okay.
And we'll see where it goes.
Okay. Okay. Cutting deep means one of two things: bye-bye Austin or bye-bye Willie. So
yep.
You have that conversation. There's no time for that type of deal to happen between now and Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Are you on board on that?
I'm on board with that, and that's why I'm perplexed when Bourne says to me, can Tree get it done? I think Tree's in an impossible situation when it comes to that. I don't know what the tea leaves are saying in regard to what his position is going to be. And there's no sense firing the coach. I hear the same noise you guys do. There's no sense firing the coach between now and the end of the year. That does nothing. That's not going to help. So, right now I'm really worried about Boston's getting my first round draft pick. There's all this other stuff I got to still deal with. It's going to be a summer thing, but Kyper, this team, look at what's going on in the Atlantic Division right now. Look at the Ottawa Senators the other night. Like Sammy, they ran off 18 straight shots, and after the Leafs went up 1-0 the other night, something like that. So it's you are what you are, and it's not very good right now.
Yeah, no, that was all very informative and dead accurate. So we're continuing to look around the league and talk about Canadian teams. The Oilers make this move for Murphy. Well, what's next for them? Do you think that, I know you don't think that there's a lot in the cupboards for them to deal with, but they're limping around a little bit.
Yeah, they're limping around a lot. Again, it's I don't know what's going on the bench. I don't know what the communication is like around there. It just seems like they're coming into a really you're coming down the stretch with a lot of noise, and you're trying to plug some holes to make it better with bodies. But I think honestly, it's an inward thing there, Bourne. I think it's, the coaches got to get on the same page, and everybody as a group has got to get back on the same page. Easier said than done, especially at the hardest time of the year. How many times do the three of us get together in October or November when teams get off to good starts, and then we say, well, let's just wait till January, February, March when the games get super hard, and we'll see what everybody's made of. The Oil have had hiccups in the past, and they fooled us. They come back to life because they're still a hell of a hockey team when they're flying, but so far they haven't been able to come back to life the way they have in the past.
So, Books, we just mentioned really no time for cutting deep for the Toronto Maple Leafs with their big boys, but Jimmy Rutherford, Patrick Alvin, they've had plenty of time to cut deep with a decision on Pettersson. Do you expect him gone by the end of the week?
I expect Pettersson. My recommendation to them would be that he should be moved on to another organization. That's my recommendation. It's not going to work here. It's only going to get progressively worse. And I think, I haven't read your piece yet today, Kyper, but do you have Utah floating around in those waters at all as well?
Detroit, Carolina, and Utah has always got that situation. Nick Schmaltz too is not re-signed,
So there's one. I mean, you got Nick Schmaltz. So I like your Detroit one there, the Swedish connection, as you know, going back to how Detroit has really valued the Swedes. And you have Nick Lidstrom there and their player development, all that kind of stuff. And it's time for that to happen. And I would get it back as many assets as possible there. They're in a really tough spot. Like Brock Besser signed long-term, and they're going to do some things here. I get it, but there's also some curious things that are going to be left on the books there still. So Pettersson, it's time. We've had enough discussion about this since he signed the big ticket there, and I don't think the coach is long for the way that he's performed. And that's two coaches in a row, by the way, for the same situation.
One of the names on Kyper's board is Alexis Lafreniere, and I can't quite make sense of a guy. He's one of the guys I feel like I get most wrong. When I watch him play, I'm like, okay, big, skates good, shoots it good. I like everything about this kid, and the results are just never there. What's happening with that guy?
Does he ever really blow you away where he takes over a shift and starts running people over with his physique? Because he's never really done it for me, going back to his days in Rimouski. And I think it's a big tease. I really do. And he's an NHL player. Don't get me wrong. He's an NHL player, but he's also got first overall itis, if you will, if that's a disease that you can carry around for your entire career. He's a guy, he leans more Adam Ernie on any night than he does first overall, if that makes sense to you. It just doesn't add up to me. And I would personally be buyer beware on Lafreniere if I was on the other end picking up the phone. I think there's a ton of risk there. I'm not so sure that it's going to materialize. I suppose it could be like, remember when Teravainen went to Seattle from Nashville, and he might spike early with some offense in a different in a different environment. But guys, when you're built like a freight train like that, and you aren't really imposing, and you're not really consistent, opponents don't fear you a lot, and that's a problem.
We were just talking earlier, Books, about very seldom do we see a goalie moved this time of year. It's just, it must be so scary for scouts and general managers to do something. Yet, Binnington's floating around there, and all of a sudden Bobrovsky's name's starting to pop up. I mean, have you been in a situation where, you thought about a goalie at this time of year?
Yeah, we brought Lou back. We weren't good, but we brought Lou back from Vancouver back in the day.
Was that at the trade deadline?
Yeah, it was right around the trade deadline, I believe. Now I'm thinking, or was that in the summer? Now I'm thinking of it. But anyways, it's that conversation, the Lou conversation. It was like an all-year thing. If you get my drift, like it was always going on. But here's where I would do my homework on a goalie acquisition. If you are looking at the competition come playoff time, if you're starting to size up what your team looks like, but you're also starting to size up what somebody else is going to look like, and you're going to hear the rumors, you're going to get intel on maybe a goalie's getting moved. if it's really that, if a team is going to be picking up, if you're staring at the team that you're going to be playing in playoffs and they're in the same sort of mix as you are, but they're not floating for a goalie, or you're projecting the second round, they're not floating for a goalie, be very careful about spending too many assets at the trade deadline on a goalie. It's going to be expensive. I understand the winning pedigree. I would be shocked if Bobrovsky gets moved, just because I know Vinny Viola, the owner in Florida, he's so loyal and he's won with this guy. I would be surprised if that happened. The Binnington one, I can absolutely see that happening. But again, it's going to be, what's he at? 5'5" guys. So you got to find somebody who can eat 275 to make something like that happen. Not a lot of contenders could do that.
Well, I did link them to Montreal, and only on a short stint until you get your young guys going there. But I like Binnington with the strut, the attitude to come in on this year and next year for Montreal, and then you go to your young guys.
So that's interesting. Would you flip Montembeault for Binnington and ride it out with Dobish as the backup? Because I think
Yes.
that makes sense.
Yes, I would.
Yeah. I think that makes sense
And
too.
Fowler in there next year, probably.
2
right?
years.
2 years.
Yeah, you got Fowler waiting in the wings. I don't mind that at all. So if you take a look at that there, Kyper, that makes absolute sense to me. And so let's see. Now we're starting to build a case, aren't we, here for a bigger St. Louis trade with the Montreal Canadiens. And the Montreal Canadiens, they've done business before. And the Montreal Canadiens, again, have tons of assets, tons of draft capital. They got it all. So I like the thoughts of that. I think Monty involved in that trade makes sense. And then Dobish, by the way, I believe is on a 9-0-2 run. Might be 11-0-2 right now for the Montreal Canadiens in net. So Fowler waits in the wings and you ride it out that way. That right there is a good talking point that makes sense to me.
Hey, before we let you go, the draft. How is the draft quality this year? Where are the tiers? What are we looking at for teams who are excited to get back a pick in the first round?
Well, the fly in my ointment is that number. I draw lines in the sand, I call it. So, your top 3 guys, sometimes it goes to 4, 5, or 6, for example. This year, you're at the top. You've got McKenna. Well, I don't have McKenna. I still have Stenberg, number 1. Time will tell. So Stenberg, McKenna, Verhoff, that's still the way it is. But I've mentioned it to you guys before. Caleb Maholcha, right up the street from us here in Toronto, playing for Brantford, the Bulldogs. Oh, boy, this kid is a pro. You guys know his dad very well.
Yep.
And, he plays the game the right way. I'm now tempted to have my line in the sand at 4. After that, there is a drop-off, and you're going to get into second-tier defensemen and second-tier forwards. But for that darting, smaller forward who's got a lot of momentum, keep an eye on the name Viggo Bjork out of Sweden. He played in the World Juniors, and he's a mid-range size guy, but he's involved, guys. Like he's not a wilting flower. He gets after it at the SHL level. He plays in all situations, and he's ticking off all those boxes that I'm talking about. So that might be a guy, if the Toronto Maple Leafs are unfortunate to lose their first round pick, that's going to be a guy that's going to be right in that wheelhouse for that pick that the Boston Bruins are going to inherit.
Good name, Books.
Okay.
Viggo Bjork is an awesome handle.
It is a great handle. It is a great handle.
So just to stay on that, and I hate doing Toronto talk on our national show, but Books, in your perfect scouting world, would you prefer, if you were a member of the Toronto Maple Leafs, to take that top 5 pick somehow and keep it, but it gets punted next season where it goes unprotected, and then you might be in a position where you may lose the first overall pick? What would you prefer?
Oh boy, jeez, that's what a
They're not going to be the
horrible
worst team in the league.
If they go to 32, I'll my forehead will cave in. But here's the thing. I would have it this year, Kyper, because I still believe in what I'm seeing here in that top 5. Hoping that they could get a number 1 centerman in Maholcha. They could get a number 1 right shot D in Verhoff, depending on how the ping pong balls fall, for example. So I would eat it for this year, and the sooner the better, because they got to get some guys on the turnstile. That's the other thing. Like if you wait another year, then you're another year, if you understand what I mean. So they don't have enough coming year over year right now. The sooner the better. And Maholcha is going to push for an NHL job next year. He's that good.
Great stuff, Books. You expect a lot of action here. I know we're dealing with no retention this year. overall seller's market, buyer's market? What do you see by next Friday?
I'm torn. My over under is like maybe 10 real good, what I would call quality hockey trades that are going to move the needle for me one way or the other. I just think there's too much parity, and some of these teams that need assets or need more, they don't have enough. They don't have enough assets and they don't have enough draft capital. So I'm hopeful for the fan of the game that it's going to be active, but time will tell. Somebody's going to have to step up and take some huge risks. That I will say.
All right. Well, we got one in today. Connor Murphy, Edmonton Oiler.
And it starts.
Books, great stuff as always on our show. Thanks for doing this.
Oh, thanks, Books.
We lost you.
On a mute there, I think.
That is big-headed Jason Bukala.
Oh, he said it. Oh, yeah, he did say it.
He said it.
It'd be something if he didn't. That's when I know you're really on fire. If you ever just called a guest big-headed.
It was at the deadline, Luongo.
It was.
It was March 4th with Stephen Anthony to the Florida Panthers for Sean Matthias and Jacob Markstrom. There you go.
Your point about this time of year and trades, this is the time, right? I know Sean McIndoe, writer in The Athletic, he wrote that this time last year we had the Seth Jones trade. The year before, Tanev got moved. The year before that was Meyer, Timo Meyer, Dmitry Orlov, Jake McCabe, and Tanner Jeannot. Like, this is the time when the big ones happen. This is when Matthews for Robert Thomas and a first happens or whatever. This is the time.
Maybe this year, the NHL general managers are so worried about their beloved Sportsnet that they're going to wait until the day
Friday
so that we have
trade.
a really exciting trade deadline show.
Just wake up and get that reminder on the phone Friday. Like, today?
That's not the style of a guy like Doug Armstrong. I think by Wednesday, Thursday,
you'll know.
He'll have fleshed out what he wanted to.
So they're trying to bottom out now, turn it around in like a couple years, like an actual rebuild here.
I think so.
They've declared, you know what?
Alex
That's
Dean,
proactive.
new general manager coming in, hand him off.
He's got a couple of years runway because he's new. You can do this, wear the dip for Steen, and then let him come out of it.
That's the way it's shaping up anyways.
Because like Kyrou is, I gotta tell you, it doesn't seem like they love him.
Oh, no. That's a love affair that's long gone.
Right. So,
fleeting.
He's gone.
And Thomas is not that far off. Like it's only a matter of time for Robert Thomas. This isn't just
his contract.
Throw it up on the wall and see if it sticks with a huge price for him.
Brooks nailed it. Like, why? I'd be asking a lot of questions why you're trading him. Like,
they would tell you it's a timing thing. They would say that he's
38.
He hasn't turned 27 yet, has he?
Yeah,
no, but that's the thing is that, okay, then he's 30 when you start to come out of it and you go, yeah, we could have got.
Matthews is 28.
They want people, hell, you make the point that maybe, that's all I'm saying. I think they're proactive and not waiting for it to become a problem. I kind of like it.
Game time?
Game time.
It's game time, presented by Bet365. Visit the app for latest odds. Must be 19 plus, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. I was just quickly looking at the futures for the regular season awards, and I thought this was hilarious. You know what Matthew Schaefer is to win Rookie of the Year?
Minus 1,000.
Minus 3,500.
Oh my God.
Minus 3,500. So if you want to bet the field, it's plus 11. Plus 1,100 is the field.
If he stopped playing
what
today,
would
he'd
somebody
win.
have to do to take that away from
Who's
him?
the next highest guy?
Demidov is the second at plus 1,200. Bennett Sanik is the next at plus 2,800.
Just
two goals a game.
Exclusively hat tricks.
Get on a Gretzky pace from here on out, and he might have a chance. I thought the other interesting one was the Norris Trophy. Zach Werenski is the favorite. Plus 100. Cale Makar coming in at second, plus 150. Who do you think the third favorite is?
Is it not Quinn Hughes?
It's not.
Really?
It's not.
Schaefer.
No, it's not. Evan Bouchard, plus 800 is the third favorite for the Norris Trophy.
I can't delete the face I just made. Unfortunately, the whole world saw that.
Lane Hudson, plus 1,200. Quinn Hughes, plus 1,200. And I'm just quickly, Matthew Schaefer is 100 to 1 to win the Norris. So I don't think he's going to be able to do that and win the.
That's funny because I saw several people say Hart Trophy. Well, not
And the favorite for the heart
not credible, serious.
is Nathan McKinnon at -120. Nikita Kucherov, the second favorite at +260. And that was Game Time presented by Bet365.
He was my pick at the beginning of the year.
Hold on.
Cooch?
Yeah, for MVP.
I think he's in the lead for me as a voter.
That was Game Time presented by Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Please play responsibly.
Did you say Schaefer was 100 to 1?
I did, yeah.
I think you could do worse than that bet. Like, you're probably not winning, but
it's 100 to 1 for a reason.
Hey, you're not going to get it? No. I saw Mike Rupp, and to be clear, he was joking. But he's like, this kid's making Brian Leach look like Carson Soucy. One of them said it on.
Oh, my
I read
God.
the tweet, the quote.
At the same age, Brian Leach would probably agree.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
It's crazy.
Do you think it's related to Team Canada that he came out more determined than ever to make a statement?
I just think he's
not at 18.
I also think it was really good for him to get this break in the middle of his rookie year, have that time to
so
step
tired
back.
and give his body a chance to rest.
Well, I just think it's good, you know.
A little reset.
Yeah.
A reset.
Get to where you had a great start.
He's resetting the puck into the net every night.
Oh, my God.
He's unbelievable.
No stopping him. Okay, we'll take a quick break. When we return, plenty more to get into. We'll talk a little bit more on my list that's come out. Few names, who's going where. Plenty more on the Real Kyper and Bourne Show. Don't go away. As a reminder, this hour of Real Kyper and Bourne brought to you by Bet365, Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee.
Kyper, are you allowed to talk about what you talked about in the break to us, or no? About
that I did an event, wonderful mining crew.
Yeah.
Have a big convention this week.
How many picks did you take yesterday?
I think it was around, they had over 1,000 people.
Okay.
And I started noticing duplicates coming up. And I'm like, again, I don't know. They said I may have taken 1,200 pictures. And I'm smiling in every one of them.
I'm not sure I've been in 1,200 in my life.
No, that's interesting. Yeah, and the length of time smiling in a day should be under 3 hours, ideally. That's a workout in itself. Good work, Kip.
So I'm watching TV the other day, and I'm noticing this commercial for, I don't know, a restaurant, Pizza Hut, I don't know. And, people are licking their phones.
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Pizza?
Is that a thing right now?
Of course it's not.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. There's a commercial where...
I know the one you're talking about.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So I'm beside the Stanley Cup, and this woman comes up and goes, "Can I lick the Stanley Cup?" And I'm like, "Excuse me?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I'm not the guy to ask."
You absolutely should have green light that. Your name is on it, and you want to make it happen.
And I'm smiling like I have 1,200 times, and the only thing I'm thinking of is we went from washing fruit with masks on and gloves just a few short years ago. And now someone's asking me if they could lick the Stanley Cup. I'm like, where's this world going?
We are heading into around the 6-year anniversary. Right now, 6 years ago, we were in the teeth of it.
But, really, a lot of people have touched the Stanley Cup. Not a lot of people have licked it. And that's not to say no one has, because I bet you over 100 people have licked the Stanley Cup.
That's a great question.
Oh, my goodness. All right.
Talk about the Kings firing the coach. Didn't mention that.
They did fire the coach.
Jim Hiller relieved of his duties. DJ Smith in.
Yeah.
Clearly, they think that there might be something to salvage, if not a chance to get back in the race. At least it may set a different tone for the rest of the season.
Let's check in with Ken Holland. We've got a clip of him talking about Kings parting ways with Jim Hiller.
I didn't like the two games heading into the break. I didn't like the two games coming out of the break, and time's running out. So it was either kind of just stay status quo and see what happened and see where it goes. But I felt that I wanted to make a decision and go with it. Once I made the decision on Friday, my wheels were in motion to make the move. Irregardless of what happened in last night's game.
Ooh, and irregardless.
And they did win last night.
There was chants in the crowd of fire Jim Hiller. That was a thing, which we've heard Brian Burke admit openly. That's part of the reason he fired Ron Wilson when it happened here in Toronto. I think that does have some impact on people. And then the other thing is that they're just, and this is rare, but too defensive. Fans think they're boring. Yeah. The team, they've got great defensive metrics, but they don't do anything. They don't play. And then you trade for Artemi Panarin. I wonder if part of it is I don't want to put this guy in a spot where he's in a neutral zone trap for $11 million a year.
But is DJ Smith going to be now we're opening it up?
Maybe a bit.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm asking legitimately. Is that his
MO?
No.
Are they going to look at DJ Smith as a real possibility to move forward, or does this have Peter DeBoer written all over it?
Ooh, it does have DeBoer written all over it because
DeBoer's going to be so rich.
Because next year, isn't the whole thing with the Kings is they're trying to court the big names. They want the stars. They want Connor McDavid. They want Austin Matthews. They want the guys. They want to become an attractive destination. And they aren't it's LA. It's Manhattan Beach.
They're losing they're losing the biggest face that they've had in Kopitar. Mm-hmm. And Doughty's given everything he has, but clearly he can't carry a blue line anymore. So they're in dire need of some fresh faces. Panarin, he's got a couple good years left, no question, but obviously it's still not enough.
I don't think do you think they think that they're legit threats this year if they get in. They're only 3 points out of a playoff spot. Very realistically could climb over Nashville, San Jose, Seattle. There's a spot for the Kings if they play well.
They're just not deep enough, right?
Well, the Fiala thing is daggers. They just, for a team looking for goals, to lose Fiala is awful.
Yeah.
It's got to be hard for some clubs that sit there and go, okay, if we make it, are we pulling a Daryl Sutter here 8 days and it's over?
Right.
Not in the Pacific. If you can find a way into one of those top
Okay.
two spots, then
All right.
But if you play the Central, then yeah.
The Pacific is currently Vegas at 70 points, and Vegas hasn't beaten a playoff team since November 20th.
That's unbelievable.
So
that is wild. Anaheim
I wrote today on Sportsnet.ca. It's my trade board 5.0. We'll do another one. We'll update it throughout the week. But
Why? Board man.
Board man over
Yeah,
here.
I'm a
putting
board
up
man
boards.
now.
Gets paid.
Wait, you're just looking at me like I'm nothing but an invoice guy now, eh? Sammy?
Oh,
Hey.
yeah. Oh, yeah. How dare I accuse Mr. Mining over here?
But everybody's got to make a living.
It's for charity.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I did mention is that, of course, the demand for center ice. Ryan O'Reilly has made it clear, doesn't want to go anywhere. I don't know what today's loss. I don't think today's loss will change anything. For those of you that don't know, Detroit beat Nashville. What time was the puck drop, by the way?
I don't know.
Over breakfast, apparently.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, I looked at it.
That one
Is it a
snuck
national
up on us.
holiday? Is it? I have
A guy up there, sorry, I don't know your name, was like, it's because they wanted it to be in prime time in Europe. That's what he said. He said it was on the Detroit newspaper said that. So there you go. That's what I'm relaying.
Let's focus on people like on this side of the land watching.
Yeah, let's make sure that the good people of Michigan are aware there's a game.
But clearly with Ryan O'Reilly, Stamkos, and Marchessault apparently not going anywhere, I get Nashville salvaged something that was really ugly earlier this season. Their season was, oh my gosh. We were looking at them going, what's going on there? And they're trying to make the playoffs. But, like, where are you going?
If you get there.
If you get there.
Yeah.
And so we're also going to see San Jose. They're pretty darn close. They're right in the thick of things here.
They're currently 3 points back with the game in
So
hand.
if you told me that San Jose might try to do something to get the kids, Celebrini, Will Smith,
I support that.
into a playoff situation, let them get their feet wet.
The feel for playoff
right?
hockey.
Their
competition.
goaltender,
Askarov. Yep, I nailed
like
that.
get him a playoff experience. I see the value in that.
Right.
But like, you want to get
Saros.
You want to get
Marchessault.
Stamkos some playoff experience.
Yossi.
Ryan O'Reilly, like it'll
That's
really
a great point.
It'll really help Marchessault, O'Reilly, and Stamkos for the next few years when they're ready to compete.
It is totally time to look around and be like, this isn't going to be good enough. We should probably get some assets back.
Couldn't be more right. Couldn't be more right.
Yeah, they should
So
probably.
Stamkos to the Sharks, is what you're saying?
You can see it.
Doesn't feel like it
wanted
right now.
I wanted to go on my Pacific Division thing. So Vegas, again, hasn't won, beat a playoff team since November 20th. Anaheim Ducks are 1 point back of the Pacific Division lead.
I watched the Ducks the other night against Calgary.
They're wide open.
I'm like, that's a fun team.
They're
It's
a blast.
It's a wild ride.
It is.
It's a wild ride. Cutter Gauthier is a stud.
2-goal leads,
Buddy.
blow 2-goal leads.
I didn't want to bring it up with our earlier guest in the
Charlie?
show.
Oh, my God,
with Charlie
he's
O'Connor, who
so
covers the Flyers. But that one is incredibly regretful.
Yeah, he's going to be a 50-goal scorer next year.
The guy,
like
the guy
6'3"
could have
and
easily
22
been
or
on
something.
Team USA.
I think he
I had him on mine.
He
Easy.
had 9 shots last night. I think he's third in the league in shots.
He just rips it constantly.
Yeah.
So Ducks 1 point back of Vegas, but they're no good. They're like near the league worst in defensive metrics. They're also just really good offensively, so they're chaos. The Oilers can't win. I mean, I don't know. They're four wins in their last 10 games. They're 4 points out of first.
Connor Murphy, though.
Connor Murphy, that fixed it.
That'll help.
And then sniffing at their heels there, San Jose, 62 points. Seattle's got 65 points. Like,
That is a real.
the Leafs are a
that's a real
playoff
dog's
team on that
practice.
side.
Yeah.
But and we just bury him here every day.
I think you mentioned it too. You don't expect Bobrovsky to go anywhere.
No chance to me. They don't win a Stanley Cup with a guy who's been there for 10 years and then say, oh, we got a second for him. Like this guy, they still think he can do it. I almost guarantee it. It's a Binnington factor.
Florida wants to re-sign him for all indications, but not at the number that he's presented right now.
Right. Well, that's up to him. If he doesn't
have any guess number,
I'll guess, and I say he probably is in the 6 to 7 range.
2 or 3 years.
8. I think he'd like a couple of years. I think he wouldn't mind $16 million over 2.
Yeah.
But he has not had a good year.
No. Valley says he's not.
And
looking
if
good.
I think the number for a guy that's made $100 million,
I know. Play
like
for
if I made $100 million,
in Florida,
I'd pay them to play another year there.
give me 2 more. I'll stay in the state of Florida. I'll play for 5, whatever.
I'll keep taking my golf cart to practice.
Yeah, get a guy behind you who can play a bit more. Let's try to win another cup. So stupid.
I think the number probably could be a $3 million. What Florida would probably want is sign him to $3 million and put games played bonuses or wins bonuses, and we can get you to 5 or 5.5 if you have a great year.
Like Max Scherzer.
Love that. Want to talk quick about Pettersson. I don't know if you saw his interview today.
How are they going to trade him if he's not playing?
Yeah, he got scratched. What a miserable interview he gave today.
It's brutal.
It's petulant. It's grumpy.
Did you clip any of it?
Unhappy and sad.
I had a hard time getting through it for the first time. I did clip, because he got benched. So
yeah,
Foot benched him. And then, do we have time to play the clips? I don't know if we have time to play the clips.
Sneak one in if we
play Foot on benching him if we could. Clip Adam Foot clip there, Derek, if we could. Maybe not. Okay. Anyways, he's just the interview that he gave today was just really tough.
His time on ice is crazy, man. His last 4 games, 15-49, 15-40, 16-25, 14-20. Like, they're...
Maybe we had no time.
All that lends me to do is just find a way to steal him.
I'd
go. And Alex with the Rangers, Lafreniere,
yeah,
I'd try to steal him.
I would too.
Okay.
I'm in on that one.
I try to steal him too. I don't. But like we're in the eating business too, right? They can eat $2 million. Everybody can eat $2 million. Bring Pettersson down to 9.5. I'll have a conversation. Lafreniere, bring him down to 5. I'll have a conversation.
Bring him.
We gotta go.
Okay. Our thanks to Jason Bukala and Charlie O'Connor covering the Philadelphia Flyers. Thanks for watching. If you get a chance, give us a rating and review. We'd love to hear from you. Enjoy your night, everybody. We're back tomorrow. Real.